never know all the steps.
Dance with me.
No, you must learn to join the dance.
Michelle Pfeiffer, good morning. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So how did you get involved in this project?
Well, Jeffrey Katzenberg called me and said we were going to do the story of Moses. And I said, well, that's ambitious, a little risky.
And version.
Yeah, I was a little leery, and then I actually was not familiar with the story, this character of Zipporah. I didn't even know actually that Moses had a wife, and so I went over to DreamWorks, and they showed me some of the preliminary drawings that they were doing, and they showed me a 10-minute presentation. And it was really just a series of sketches, sort of storyboarded, and with that really haunting, beautiful song, Deliver Us, in the beginning. And at the end of this 10-minute sketched presentation, I just was dissolved into tears, and I thought, well, it is risky, but it could also be something really marvelous, and I'm really proud of it, and I'm really glad I'm a part of it.
The only other animated movie, a voice that you've done, I guess you've been in, your voice has shown up only once before, and that was in The Simpsons, right?
And I was really bad.
You were Homer's...
dream girl or something, yeah.
So this was
we ate the same kind of food. Yeah.
This was probably a very different experience.
It was. In many ways, The Simpsons was much harder because it's done like live radio, and all of the actors stand around in a circle, and you know the people who are regulars on that show are really gifted at doing this, and they're going in and out of 3 and 4 different characters at one time. And because it's television, you don't have the luxury. The movie took 4 to 5 years really to complete, and my involvement was over a period of about 2 years. So I went in, you know, periodically over those 2 years, and we would change things and tweak with things. So
how would it work, Michelle? Would you and Val Kilmer be at the studio at the same time, having a conversation? Be sort of solo.
Solo.
That's hard, isn't it?
I think we were. I don't know if any of the other actors did it together, but I think most of us were on our own. And it's you know it's hard working in a vacuum. It's a whole different process than acting. When you're working on a movie set, the whole idea is to incorporate everything into the reality that you're trying to create, and the last thing you want to be doing is hearing your voice. And if you are hearing your voice, then you need to start over again. But this is, you know, pretty technical and pretty mechanical.
What are you girls doing?
We're trying to get the funny man out of the well.
Trying to get the funny man out of the well. Well, that's one I've never heard before. Oh, my. Oh, don't worry down there. We'll get you out. Hold on.
You. You not only talk in it or speak in it, you sing as well.
Yeah.
Was that fun for you? You haven't done that since the Fabulous Baker Boys, have you?
No, I haven't. I really love to sing, but I'm sort of a shower singer, you know what I mean? And I have to. But
you have a really pretty voice.
If I work at it, but I don't work at it, and so when I'm called upon to sing in a movie or something, then I cram. So it's not as enjoyable as if if I were training all of the time, then I would probably enjoy it even more. And this song was really way out of my range. But you know, I got it together, I think, just in the nick of time.
Let's talk about the finished product, because it is the animation and the effects are so magnificent, aren't they? I mean, were you pleased when you saw the movie? Tell me your impressions.
Well, I mean, it's really sort of an epic-size animated movie, and I don't know that I've ever seen. There have been big animated movies, but I don't know that I would ever use the word epic in conjunction with animation. it's just huge, and it's just, it's interesting because there's been a lot of talk about, well, is this something for kids, and will kids go to see this, and the more I think about it, the more I think, you know, my daughter is really interested in what is God, and, you know, what is heaven, and where do people go when they die, and will I see them, and can I talk to them, can I send them a letter, and they're very, very curious about God, and I think that perhaps this movie will intrigue them in a different way than another kind of animated movie. You know, I think that it will be provoking for them on their level.
Definitely, and you can really use it, I think, as a springboard to discuss all sorts of different issues. But it's a tough movie. It's not for little itty-bitty ones, is
I don't
it?
think so, no.
How
no.
old do you
Like
think?
my son, I think, is too young.
He's 4.
He's 4, and my daughter is almost 6, and I think that she could possibly, but she's not, you know, I think it depends on the child. I think 7 is a pretty safe age for most kids. And anywhere between 5 and 7, I think it would depend on the child.
I was just glad that I was there. I brought my daughter who's 7 and a friend of hers. I just was glad that I was there with her so
Yeah.
I could comfort her in the frightening part.
This is your debut, right? Animation debut?
Yeah, other than I did an episode of The Simpsons once.
All right.
Dance with me.
As the beautiful wife of Moses in the upcoming The Prince of Egypt, an animated Michelle Pfeiffer shows her feisty side.
Don't worry down there. We'll get you out. Hold on.
You really are, you know, completely trusting them with your voice, and
That's hard.
Yeah.
My father, Jethro, high priest of Midian.
Playing the voice of Zipporah, Michelle is in good company, working alongside Danny Glover, Val Kilmer, Ray Fiennes, Steve Martin, and Sandra Bullock as the voice of Miriam.
I know who you are, and you are not a prince of Egypt.
Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey provide the power vocals of the movie's theme, When You Believe, but it's Michelle who sings the version played throughout the film.
Was that fun? It was. It was hard work, but it was really fun, and the song was really difficult for me. It was way outside of my range, where my comfort zone is. But it was really fun, and it was so wonderful to sing those lyrics.
Thank you, Julie. The Prince of Egypt hits theaters 2 weeks from tomorrow.